Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni muli wanji, namaste, jambo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jevly, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We are so grateful that you're joining us in our mission to help families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to subscribe to the show on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, wherever you find your podcast. Our guests today are Caroline and Katherine Brickley. They're here to celebrate the Friendly Bookshelf. Before we invite Caroline and Katherine into the studio, we want to let you know we have a brand new Reading with Your Kids certified great read, Bentley and the Magic Sticks by Claire Eckhart. Wow, we really love Bentley and the Magic Sticks. Bentley is a large-sized dog who has no friends because the other dogs, well, they're afraid of Bentley. He's huge. Bentley longs for a friend to play with. His wish comes true when the fairy dog mother uses her magical power to create another dog out of Bentley's sticks. Bentley can't believe that he finally has someone to call his friend. In an overwhelming turn of events, Bentley loses his friend, and this makes him realize his special skills and the reason for his existence. With his positive attitude and newly magical sticks, Bentley is able to make new friends and discover his place in the world. The illustrations are adorable, and they bring the story and the characters alive. It's a cute book for bedtime storytelling and can be used in classrooms and school libraries for storytelling and read-aloud sessions. It's light-hearted stories like this that are good for children and will put a smile on their faces. Bentley will definitely find its way into the hearts of young readers with his kind behavior. Throughout this well-written children's book, there are excellent illustrations that are perfect for younger children to strengthen their observation skills. We believe that Bentley and the Magic Sticks proudly reminds children and adults how friendships can grow when minds and hearts are open to others who may look or seem different. It might be their hairstyle, skin color, clothing, body shape, mental or physical ability. This book celebrates inclusion and diversity and friendship. Your friends, families don't always have to look the same as you or I do. A timeless message which is increasingly relevant. It promotes themes of friendship and kindness and love. We absolutely love Bentley's Magic Sticks by Claire Eckhart, our latest Reading with Your Kids certified great read. For more about this fantastic book and for more information about our Certified Great Read program, please visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Joining us right now from right outside of New York City, our guests are here to celebrate two wonderful books and the launching of a Kickstarter campaign. Please welcome to the show Caroline and Katherine Brickley. My friends, welcome to the Reading with Your Kids podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so happy to be here.
Now, that first voice was Katherine. And Caroline, you are Katherine's twin sister. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Just 3 minutes younger.
3 minutes younger. Awesome. That's such a, before we get into the books, that I don't think I've ever had the chance. I've certainly known twins in my life, but I've never asked them what was it like growing up with your identical reflection, looking back at you and sharing life with you.
Yeah, well, I think it's funny with twins, you either complete opposites or you really are the same, and we ended up being the same. We always pursued the same interests, and we always would scare our mom because we would be thinking the same thing and say it at the same time. So that twin telepathy is real. And we ended up going to the same college, and we're roommates. And so our paths just aligned, and it's kind of like sister soulmates. So we work really well together. They say don't work with family, but it works for us. So
now, did you do any of that mischievous stuff? Like pretending to be the other and causing all that confusion.
Yeah, we always wanted to, but we're actually fraternal twins. So even though we look similar, we're not exactly identical. So we wouldn't have been able to pull that off, though we wish we could have. And there's a little bit of a height difference. So they'd be like, you're looking a little short to be Caroline.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited. Let's first talk about The Blossom Shop. That's a book that is available right now. So Caroline, can you tell us about The Blossom Shop?
Sure. We began working on The Blossom Shop probably our freshman year of college, and we published it in 2017 when we were juniors in college through our media company, which is called Blossom. For short, the full name is Blossom Children's Media Group, and The Blossom Shop was very much inspired by our own experiences as children. It's about twin sisters raised by a single mother who owns a family flower shop, and it's about their journey to really making they live in a completely gray town, so making their flower shop feel like it belongs, and also finding that strength within themselves to show others why it belongs and why that it can bring positive change to their community. Wow. Would you say that's a good description?
Yeah. Yeah, and the unique thing about what we did with the Blossom Shop and what we do with Blossom is we expand upon the story to create interactive experiences for kids. So what we do is, and we started that with the Blossom Shop, is we expand with story-based content and community experiences. So we brought the characters to life. We would dress up as the main characters, Poppy and Posy, and we would do live performances for kids. We would incorporate music and dancing, story time, crafts, and I'm sure you can relate to that with your live performance experience with kids. So it's really amazing to see them interact with these characters and, more importantly, get excited about reading. So now we're planning to do that with our next book.
Yeah, that is really fun to be able to get out in front of an audience and to motivate them and to get that response. That's one of the things that I find, because I've dabbled and written a couple of children's picture books. It's so much different when I'm in front of a live audience. I get the response, boom, right away. If I say something, I either know that it's a hit or if it's a dud instantly. Yeah. When you're writing a book, you can write something and you may not get a reaction to it for years before it's out there in the world and you find out whether or not kids are connecting with it or not. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer it live or the writing?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing quite like being with kids. Mm-hmm. But what's special about Blossom is we've actually, because of the pandemic and also because we want to reach more children, we have a lot of virtual initiatives. Mm-hmm. So with the Friendly Bookshelf, for instance, we have a new campaign called Everyone Has a Story campaign, where children will send us videos of themselves telling their story and also speaking about why they're excited for the Friendly Bookshelf and Bibli, the main character. So we've been able to connect with kids through a virtual level, which has been...
And kind of before the story comes out, so we kind of break that barrier, because that is a scary thing, waiting to get that feedback. We kind of let the kids be a part of the story before it even comes out, and like Caroline was saying with the Everyone Has a Story, they're getting excited about the Friendly Bookshelf too, and hearing about a bookshelf, looking for a story about him, because all of these children that are participating are feeling like, especially after a year that we've been through, that, their story is one that maybe isn't being heard. They're mm-hmm. home by themselves, and now they're presented with this opportunity to share their story. So
yeah, that's neat. Yeah, so let's jump into it. The Friendly Bookshop, that is the bookshelf. I'm sorry, the Friendly Bookshelf is your latest book, and you're starting a Kickstarter campaign for it tomorrow. I'm really excited. I love this idea of crowdfunding projects. We're living in an age where authors don't need a giant corporation to give thumbs up or thumbs down to a project. Authors can go out there and either self-publish or join in the community and get community backing to have their books published. And I think it's wonderful. And I think it's a really wonderful thing to do as a family, to be able to sit down when the project is fully funded and the books come out, and to be able to sit down and read a book together that we were partly responsible for creating. We helped make this book come to life. And I think that's a wonderful way to get kids loving reading.
Yeah, that's kind of, we call our, our supporters and everyone our Blossom family. We consider everyone a family. And so when we were coming out with our second book, this is our first time doing a Kickstarter. So tomorrow's going to be a very overwhelming day, but we knew that this time around we had built this little family together, and we wanted to make them a part of this process, because we knew that, there are so many kids out there that when we were doing the live performances, their parents would bring them up to us and they're like, you can do this too. You can do this one day too. And to let kids at a young age be a part of this creative process, the publishing process with us, I think is a really unique and special experience. And so, we're really excited. We have a lot of fun rewards, for book lovers of all ages. So, we'll have signed hardcover copies of the book, a friendly bookshelf coloring packet, bookmarks, and also special giveaways and stretch goals that we're excited to reach together. And we like to say we want to make a bookmark on the world, with our Blossom family. So we're excited to do that.
Yeah. So Caroline, take us through a Kickstarter campaign. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, a pair of authors like Caroline and Katherine come together and they say, I have this great book idea and we want you to help us fund it. So first off, there's a story. So you've created the story of the friendly bookshelf, and one of the characters is Bibley. Can you tell us a little bit more about this story, Caroline?
Yeah, so this is a very special story to us, and we started writing it over a year ago. And it went through a lot of changes during that time. Bibley actually wasn't the main character when we began the story. But as we were writing it, we were just enthralled with this character because it was this little bookshelf who originally was helping children find their stories. But then we're like, what about Bibley? Like, he's in the corner of a library. He's this little bookshelf. Who has heard his story? And so that was kind of how the idea shaped. So it's about a little bookshelf named Bibley who resides in the corner of a library. And like anyone a child might come across in their own town. And he has listened to many different children's stories. And one day a thought pops up and he's like, could there be a story out there about someone like me? And that question kind of drives the story. There are other talking bookshelves around him, and they're like, no, bookshelves are only meant to hold stories, not have ones of their own. But that question never really goes away for Bibley. And only when he finds a friend named Cassie, who kind of inspires him, she's, you can talk a little bit about it, but she's the one who really shows Bibley that everyone has a story worth telling.
Yeah, she kind of presents an opportunity for him to, find the little nudge he needs to actually step out of the background and be himself and be brave and be a friend. And this ultimately initiates in him this desire to help others, which has always been there for him. And that's kind of what helps him discover his own story. And she, we won't give away too much, but Cassie ultimately, like Caroline said, helps him find a little story that he was carrying on his shelves all along that he wasn't aware of.
Yeah. I imagine that there are kids out there who feel like Bibley, that they don't, they don't know if they're worthy enough to have their own story. And the reality is that every kid is worthy and has their story and deserves to be heard.
Yeah. That's kind of something we related to when we wrote The Blossom Shop, because we hadn't encountered a lot of books about children being raised by single parents. And there are many children that are, and we kind of wanted to have that in a story. And
but that's just one story. And what we kind of say is, representation and inclusion and all these things are so important. But no one story can truly, represent anyone, where all of our stories are so unique. And so what our belief is with a story like this, though, is one story can encourage every child to find the inspiration and the confidence to share their own story, and then also learn those social emotional skills to accept and celebrate those of others. And that's why we're also publishing this book in collaboration with an educational consultant, Dr. Laura Zimmerman at Tech Play Collaborative. She's making sure that this book is being written to empower kids to develop those critical skills developmentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about the campaign itself. Katherine, what's the goal? The first goal that you have in terms of an amount that you folks need to raise?
Yeah, so our initial goal is $8,500. And this goal we're aiming to meet in order to print the first 1,000 hardcover copies of The Friendly Bookshelf. And then beyond that, so we're going to be raising this initial goal through some of the rewards that I mentioned before. People can make a pledge based on several amazing tiers that we have to offer. I think people are going to be really excited.
Mm-hmm. That I'll just mention something that's also special about Kickstarter is you won't be able to get some of these rewards and packages anywhere else. So when you pre-order the book through this campaign, you'll be getting something that no one else will get beyond the campaign.
Yeah, it's Kickstarter exclusive, so it's a limited time to pre-order the book with exclusive rewards. And then if we're able to meet the $8,500, it's all or nothing. So if we don't meet it, we're unfortunately not able to meet those rewards. So that's why we want to get there. And then if we're able to go beyond that, we have a lot of fun stretch goals. And one of the ones people are really excited about is the Bibley and Cassie plush toys. So everyone especially is like, I really want Bibley as a plushie, because we call him one teddy bear of a bookshelf, and he actually is now. So we're hoping to meet that one. But yeah, our initial goal is $8,500.
Excellent. And a person listening to this doesn't have to worry if they're sitting there thinking, $8,500. I don't have $8,500. I'm sorry, I can't help you folks.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. No, we have a range of pledge options. So Kickstarter allows you to pledge any amount, and any amount will help us reach our goals. And then the first pledge we offer is $5. And so it goes up from there, but any amount will help us publish this book. So we hope not to deter anyone by that number.
Yeah. And also a cool thing about what we're trying to do is, since the library setting plays such a huge part in our book, is we give the option as either an add-on or part of certain pledge packages is you can donate, you can purchase a copy from us to donate to a public or school library of your choice. So we're hoping to bring this story to as many libraries as possible.
That would be really neat. I never thought about how cool that would be to, once your kid, because we have, in fact, one of our bookshelves just fell off the wall last week.
Maybe he's alive.
There's so many. My beautiful wife has been teaching for 33 years, and she's getting ready to retire. So a lot of her favorite books came home, and her bookshelf just said, "There's too many here." But there are a lot of families out there that, as their kids grow, the book that was their favorite when they were 5 or 6 years old isn't getting read anymore. And you can certainly save that book for, the grandkids to read. But another great use for that book would be to donate it to a school library. There are lots of school libraries. I've traveled to thousands of schools around the country. Unfortunately, there are literally hundreds of schools that don't have any library. And so to be able to donate that, donate a gently used book would be wonderful. To donate a brand new book that you and your family had a part in bringing to life would be a wonderful legacy to leave, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the reasons why we wanted a library setting for this book is a library is free, welcome, and inclusive to everyone. And it's true, there are a lot of under-resourced libraries within the U.S. And so it's really special for us to have that component of the campaign. And it really wouldn't be possible without Kickstarter to do that. Mm-hmm. And for backers to have a hand in that is really special as well.
Yeah. Before we leave, talk a little bit about your company, Blossom Children's Media. That sounds really big. What kind of plans are you having with your media company?
Yeah, so when we first started, I guess I can give a little backstory into what really made us want to do this in the first place, which was in high school, instead of, for our Sweet 16, instead of having a big birthday party, all we asked for our mom was, could we have two princess costumes? And she was kind of confused because, at 16, typically, like, one of our friends was like, I want a party bus and I want to go into New York City. And we were like, we just want two princess dresses. And so she got those for us. And we ended up starting a princess party entertainment company and during our junior year of high school. So what we did was we started with two costumes, and over the last 2 years of high school, we grew this business and we saw the magic of kids meeting these TV characters and these movie characters, and it was just incredible. And we were like, wait, what if we could do this with book characters and our original characters and make children feel this excitement about books and reading? And so, like Caroline mentioned earlier, that's why we launched that in college, Blossom, and now our intention with it, now we're publishing our second book, is to continue to publish original stories, bring them to life through content and these community experiences that all children can be a part of and feel that they belong. And the ultimate goal is we'd love to see these stories translated onto screen, TV, film, live performances. So that's the goal with all of this, and we're grateful to be able to be doing this with so many incredible people from around the world, and we're just grateful that people are seeing value in what we do and letting us create content for children.
Well, that's really wonderful, and what a great gift that you gave to your parents to let them know that, hey, it's my birthday, and instead of the party bus, we want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah, well, my mom, our mom, it's funny because she was like, well, why couldn't they be a little bit easier? Because she ended up being our driver because we were, and so every weekend she would be driving us, but she was like, but also I appreciate their ambition, so I'll do it. Yeah.
Well, we want to make sure that people know where they can go, not only to find out more. Why don't we start by where they can go to find out more about Blossom Media?
Yeah, so for Blossom, we have a website. It's blossomchildrensmedia.com. And we also have a website for each of our stories. So for the Friendly Bookshelf, it's thefriendlybookshelf.com. And all the information about the story, the team, and the Kickstarter are on the website.
There's a direct link to Kickstarter there, so anyone that wants to pledge would just go directly to thefriendlybookshelf.com and click the Kickstarter page.
Yeah. And that is so much easier than going to kickstarter.com/ all those other words. So that's a great
link in the world.
Well, we're really excited for you. I want to wish you luck. I want to encourage folks to check it out. This is a great way to, we talk about books empowering kids, letting kids know that their voice matters. And I think, sitting down and talking with your kids about this Kickstarter campaign, visiting the website, talking to your kids about the story, and deciding as a family, do we want to be part of this? Do we want to help bring Bibli to life, to bring the story to life? Is this something that we value? And if your kids say yes, then being able to contribute as little as $5 is a great way to let your kids know that they can make a difference in the world.
Yeah. That's exactly the feeling we want children to have through the story and through the campaign as well. Yeah, and even if you can't even donate $5, we encourage all children. It's absolutely free to take part in Everyone Has a Story, and we want all children to be able to use this platform to share their story too.
That's wonderful. We've had a great time speaking to the authors of The Friendly Bookshelf. The Kickstarter campaign for this great book is starting tomorrow, June 8th, 2021. And if you're listening to this in like 2025, well, just go back and go to the website and check it out. I'm sure it's going to be successful. And we've been talking to the authors, Caroline and Katherine Brickley. My friends, thank you so much for being part of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be our friend, the Dean of all things STEM and STEAM, Jennifer Swanson. She'll be here to celebrate her brand new book, Rock, Fossil, and Shell. That's the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Hey, earlier in the show, you heard us announce that Bentley and the Magic Sticks by Claire Eckhart is our latest Reading with Your Kids certified great read. It is a fantastic book, and the Certified Great Read program is a great way to help a book stand out from the crowd of books that are published every single month. If you are the author of a great children's book, you want to check out our Certified Great Read program. You can do that by visiting our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the Authors Click Here button at the top of the page. Scroll on down to Certified Great Reads. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Of course, we want to start by thanking our guests, Caroline and Katherine Brickley. Be sure to check out their Kickstarter campaign for The Friendly Bookshelf. Also want to thank my team, Alejandra Doherty, Fatima Khan, Justina Thompson, Helen Fraser. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.